All right, Taurus, welcome to your weekly Sidereal astrology forecast for the 5th of October to the 11th of October. My name is Athen. So a lot going on this week, not like last week where there was a lot of kind of quiet and pauseness in the astrology. It was more of an integration week. This week, there's a lot going on. I'm going to show you in the transit graph. There's a lot of aspects, and I'm going to talk about the most important emphasis of each of these. And as you can see, it's a mixed bag. We do have challenging aspects. We do have very supportive and easy aspects, and that's going to be the kind of week that it is. Now, Saturn is still sextiling the North Node all the way through Sunday of this week, so there is still that support to take things nice and slow, to have that grounded approach when it comes to the life path energy, which for you is unfolding in the area of your self-expression, entrepreneurship, creative projects, romance, children, anything that is coming from either your passions or creativity in life. And that's where a lot of energy has been unfolding over the past couple years with the North Node transiting this particular area of your chart. But it is going to be activated quite heavily this week, and I feel like the support is actually coming in from Saturn in regards to that. And I think we're all feeling able and capable of being patient and seeing the long road when it comes to particularly those fifth house things for you, and also relationships. And Saturn is going into that seventh house for you slowly this month, but that's fifth house is really being activated. Mercury is going station direct this week on Friday, and when he does, as you can notice, he goes pretty much right over the North Node when he does that. So that's signifying a shift to the life path, a shift to the direction, at least in terms of your conscious understanding of things. And it might have to do with matters relating to finances, perhaps, maybe things shaping up or shifting there for you. If you've been feeling like during Mercury retrograde, there's been this reflection on that, or maybe you've been restructuring that, and that self-expression as well. All of that starts to move forward, and it's very much about you understanding the importance of those things when it comes to your future. And that's what the North Node signifies, and has been showing you the importance of how to express yourself perhaps more clearly or with more passion, or to have more of that creativity in your life or playfulness in your life, which has been the North Node transiting that fifth house. So with that being said, with Mercury right over that North Node, there's a lot to be learned. As you can see here, that energy starting to move forward. So if there has been a holdup in those fifth house matters, Friday onward, that energy begins to move forward. And there's a lot to learn, especially Thursday, Friday, and Saturday when Mercury makes those aspects up to that North Node. So that's going into, next week, actually, Mercury, the North Node, Mercury sextiling Saturn. So there is that support. I think there's patience. I think things are probably going quite well when it comes to that self-expression. At least there's an opening for you to take it nice and slow there. And that's going to be going into the following week. So with that in mind, there's also this kind of split in the week. As you can see here, there's this early part and then this later part. In regards to the early part of the week, Mars opposes up to Neptune and the Sun squares up to Pluto. So here with this, these are both challenging aspects. With Mars, has a lot to do for you with your relationships and your alone time, your 12th house. And that doesn't mean to say that those areas aren't going to be good for you this week, but there is something needed there, some sort of balancing. And with Neptune opposing up to Mars, it's suggesting this uncertainty, perhaps, about whatever is unfolding for you around home, family, past, roots, which is that fourth house. So Neptune's already been opposing up to a lot of these planets who've been transiting this fourth house. It's going to be Venus again next. So we're quite familiar with this, but here it's perhaps whatever it is you're intent on, whatever it is you're asserting when it comes to the fourth house, which is our roots in life, or also maybe your relationships, and also getting that meaningful time out. So it's all about uncertainty. It might be uncertainty with your work, your career, anything on that public level. So having faith and trust and going with the flow are some of the qualities that Neptune shows us when we have these kinds of aspects. Now, in terms of the Sun squaring up to Pluto, there is this change, and that's what Pluto always signifies, is this change and power and restructuring when it comes to your self-expression. So with all of that shifting this week, it's very important for you to kind of have that observational awareness with that. And Pluto in your 8th house has been helping you really connect to in this sense, your self-expression on a very deep level. What's really meaningful to you, opening up, being vulnerable, and all of that can become very constructive this week if you're open to that. So I really recommend being open to that, being open to changing the way you express yourself, especially when it comes from more of that 8th house, which is that honesty, that raw, that truthfulness, within reason, of course, when it's balanced, and maybe even drawing some lines if necessary when it's coming from the heart about expressing yourself. Maybe there's something that needs to be said or what have you. But when it's coming from that heart center, then that square actually becomes very, very constructive. And that's a great way of working with that. So that's the first half of the week. The second half of the week has Jupiter starting to trine up to Pluto. In fact, we'll probably feel this all week long, actually. And this is all about that 4th house. So there is opportunities. There is expansion happening for you when it comes to your roots. However, with Pluto, it's actually quite, it's changing. It's maybe something you didn't expect. Maybe there's an opportunity you didn't see or something, and it's restructuring it for always the best, but it can very much seem like the best. You can be aware of it, that it is something that's positive. So I think we're all willing to change this week, because Jupiter is our optimism and Pluto is our change in life. So there is that. And for you, it's specifically around your roots in life, matters relating to home, family, past. And again, that openness, depth, and vulnerability is well aspected this week. So you do have a lot of support with that. Now, Jupiter does, of course, also rule your 11th house. So if you've been thinking about making any changes when it comes to networking or groups or friends or community things, it's a great week to make those kinds of changes as well. Then during pretty much this weekend, Venus, your ruler, is going to be squaring up to Saturn. So there is this patience, there is this hard work, this discipline that is needed for all of us, and for you especially so, because it is your ruler. So it might likely have to do with your one-on-one connections, anything in that 7th house. It could be business, legal matters, whatever. Constructive, patience, and even the health, the diet, the routine, and maybe the work environment in terms of that. So over the weekend, really being constructive, really being long-term can help solidify your energy as a person, really embodying those Saturnian qualities, but also when it comes to those areas like your work and relationships and things like that. Then as we go into next week, the sun will be opposing up to Neptune. So this is important for all of us to keep both feet firmly on the ground, because a lot of times with this aspect, we feel like we want to make some sudden changes, or maybe there's some sudden information coming our way. It seems like it's kind of coming out of nowhere, which for you is in the 11th house, which has to do with friends, networking, your ideals and visions. Your ideals and visions have been changing a lot over the past, 5 years roughly, depending on your ascendant, with Uranus here in Pisces. So, being open to that and allowing that to change, but keeping both feet firmly on the ground when it comes to your expression, when it comes to your ideals, I think will be a very important consideration going into next week. So you can see there's a lot of squares, a lot of oppositions. It is a challenging week, but there's also a lot of support coming in. And I feel like the support is from Pluto primarily, which is really, aspecting up to the possibilities expanding with your roots in life. So that's positive change. I think embracing that change will help the other areas come to a greater sense of balance, and also things that maybe you've been reflecting on around your fun, creativity, and those matters, your passions in life will begin to move forward with Mercury going station direct here this later part of the week. And it's all shifting for your life path. There's all these, directional changes happening. And we do have a new moon taking place in this 5th house for you very early next week on Monday. So as we approach the end of this week, the energies are receding, they're coming down, and it's that reflective time where for you, I think it's very important to really think about those 5th house matters of, what is that playfulness and self-expression and creativity that is so important in our lives. So Taurus, have a great week. If you guys have any questions, please do let me know. This was, of course, for Sidereal Astrology. If you're new to this form of astrology, do check the description down below, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.